We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully, your day is going well. It is Wednesday. We have yet another guest, and we have a favorite of a lot of folks, Will from Georgia. Will gets a little fired up from time to time, and you're fired up every time we talk, and I think people look forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, fired up. I'm kind of see the weird thing about this election that's come down. It's kind of like shock and coming up for air, and then realizing, you know what? These people are really fucked, and they're just realizing it now.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting there going. I mean, I thought a good irony is that all of a sudden people are going, "Oh, he's really going to do that." Yeah, you dumbasses. We told you he was going to do it. Oh, we just thought he was rhetoric. No. What do you think he's going to do?
Well,
And it's like
the thing
it's
about
insane.
the thing about it is that they've had an easy time of it. They got Joe Biden as president, and they could say, "Oh, Joe Biden screwed this up. This is what we would do. This is what we have to do. This is the thing that's going to change everything." But they never had to prove it. There was never any result to anything they said. It was just all, like you say, rhetoric and bullshit.
Mhm.
And now they realize, okay, this stuff has to work. And after the election, I was sad and upset and disappointed. Then I was mad. And now at this point, I'm kind of saying, okay, motherfucker, show us,
Exactly.
because I'm going to be standing here making fun of you every fucking time you fail, which will be every day.
And you know the irony is, I'm not really mad at MAGA because they are who they are. They're cultists.
Yeah, they're
We
dumb.
know what they are. I'm still red hot, blue fire pissed at progressives
Yeah,
because you fuckers knew better.
yeah, they knew better. And the thing about it is I'm angry with, and some people have got on you from going just strictly after the progressives. But I
On
agree
me?
with
Yeah, that's what I told them.
I
So that
I agree with you. I don't think it's just progressives, but I think progressives are a big part of it. My problem is I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I don't like MAGA. I don't like the Republicans at all. I sided more with Democrats.
mhm.
My problem is right now, I don't know if I can trust Democrats to do what they need to fucking do. They haven't proved that they can.
I think they're kind of lost right now. Here's the thing. So yesterday, I just go to TikTok, you get a live, and I bounced on a live, and here's this young white guy talking about how Democrats failed. He said that this is what, and I mean, I listened for 30 seconds and then my hair almost flew off my head. His points were Democrats went too far in the middle, they should have gone left. Kamala Harris didn't talk about the economy. And then someone made a comment and goes, "Yeah, it could have been about racism, misogyny." And I'm going, "You stupid a-hole." Because everything he said was exactly why 18 million people stayed home.
Yeah,
Exactly why they stayed home.
it
Simple as
actually
that. And
when it's all
he brought the Palestinian thing up too.
well,
So
when it all shook out after California got all the stuff, it wasn't 18 million. It was more like 6 or 7 million. But still, it's a lot. It doesn't matter if it's a million or 20 million. But yeah, there's everybody out there trying to suggest they know why this happened. Now, I say I don't trust the Democrats. I'm angry with the Democrats. You have to understand, though, um, it's not all the Democrats. It's like the progressive. It's like the young people that just didn't learn enough to know what the fuck is going on. People who were more worried about Gaza than they were about overturning Roe v. Wade.
mhm.
There's a faction of Democrats, like there are in Republicans, that are just stupid, unaware, ill informed, misinformed, or whatever the fuck it is. We had an opportunity to easily beat Donald Trump. And there were a lot of good Democrats who did it. Remember, Kamala raised $1 billion in 90 days. We had a lot of people coming out, but there was enough of the other folks that weren't thinking, weren't watching, didn't understand, that just sat on their thumbs. So when I say I'm mad at Democrats, I'm not mad at all Democrats because a lot of them did what they're supposed to do. A lot of them listened to this program. So I can't be mad at all of them, but we need to pull shit together because we're about as divided as Republicans are.
Well, I think to me, it's like the main Democrats had a good message. It
Right.
just wasn't listened to because, again, we're dealing with with morons, And then the progressive were locked into their, we're going to punish the Democrats for Gaza, although they have no fucking idea how international politics work. And then you had the mass media who was stonewashing everything Trump said. And so when it all came to a head, the two things that stood out was racism and misogyny, and that ended everything there.
Right.
I mean, everyone said, well, that's too simple. Really? What else are you going to say? Because the message and the campaign, and to my dying day, I said that was about as perfect a political campaign I've seen in my life.
Absolutely.
What it ran into was people who cannot critically think, and people who think they're smarter than everyone in the room. Now, as what the Democrats need to do, what the Democrats need to do is tell every far left progressive, go fight Jill Stein and create your own party. I don't want you in the Democratic Party. I don't want you talking in the Democratic Party, because you guys have for decades been the thing that conservatives have used to bash everyone about the head. Even if you get a middle of the road Democrat, you have to deal with some fucked up progressive somewhere that's coming up with stuff that makes people, that weirds people out.
Well,
I mean, that's my opinion, but I
it,
could be wrong.
I think racism and misogyny are the real reason why Kamala Harris
Oh, hell
lost.
yeah.
But I think misogyny more than racism. Just hear me out on this. Just hear
No,
me
go
out
ahead.
on just hear me out on this.
Hmm.
Donald Trump's lost 2 presidential elections, both to women. In both cases, it looked as though the woman was going to win easily based on facts and
Hmm.
truth and stuff like that. But in both cases, Donald Trump beat those 2 women. It made no sense. There was no logic to it. He goes up against Joe Biden, he loses. That's, to me, evidence that there are enough people in this country that have an issue with a woman being president. I really believe that. And I thought we were past that by now, but that's the sense I get.
Yeah, I mean, I think tossing the racism as an extra,
Well, the racism didn't
yeah,
help. No.
no, and so this is, I guess, right now what we're doing is our postmortem on the election.
Yeah.
And my postmortem in the election is, I thought she ran a great campaign.
Mm,
Anyone who says she did not, I will tell you no, because you're just looking for an excuse for your own, what you did not do. She got victimized by things that were outside their control. She ran the correct race, but what happened, the people you were speaking to don't have enough common sense to believe them. Now, here we are. And the thing I'm finding, you had been saying for a while, and I didn't agree with you, that Republicans are now at the point, we're tired of your shit and we're going to do things behind the back.
mm,
And I didn't believe that, because I thought they would roll over. Then John Thune became majority leader, and I kind of cocked my head. Then he put Mitch McConnell at head of the Rules Committee in the Senate.
right.
That means he sets the rules how things are done in the Senate,
Right.
which means he doesn't like MAGA. He does not like Trump. So when he believes the Senate is sacrosanct. So when Trump said, "Hey, you're just going to go recess, and and then all my people I want will just do appointments," and Mitch McConnell said, "No, they're going through the Senate committees." And I saw that and go, okay, now they're starting to push back.
Yeah.
And Trump is finding out, even with the House and the Senate, and the House majority, I think, is smaller now than last, because I know the
Yeah.
guy in California won.
Yeah. I think it's
So,
smaller.
and so, you know, um, MAGA Mike is the speaker, but what's he got? He still got his chaos crew.
Right.
What are they going to do?
They haven't
I'm
been able to do anything without help from the Democrats, and they aren't going to be able to do anything at this point either.
I mean, they haven't done anything on 2 years of doing nothing, and people still elected for nothing. I never understood it. And the saddest thing I'm thinking right now is that the legacy of Joe Biden isn't going to be those 2 years which brought the country up and everything you were seeing, the legacy of Joe Biden is that he's got pushed out by Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
I'm really sad that's going to happen because everything he accomplished is going to go right down the chute.
Let me ask you this:
Mhm.
if we're right about racism and misogyny being the basis for Kamala Harris losing, in spite of the fact that that Joe Biden was slow and slipping and talking slow, do you think if Joe Biden had run against Donald Trump, he would have won? I think he might have.
I might have won. I think it would have been close again because I don't think the Palestinian issue was a big one, but I think the majority of those who stayed home but didn't vote for Biden were more anti-woman than they were pro-Palestinian or pro-Trump. Because
Right.
I think a lot of those percentages you see, especially on Hispanics, they broke for Trump big. They broke for Biden big time in 20. They would have broke for Biden probably not as much, but they would have broke for him.
Let me
And
let
that's
me
I think it's a big deal. I
let
think
me
that's a big difference.
let me ask you this: if Kamala Harris had more than 100 days to do this, if at the 2 year point he said, "I'm not going to run," and then let Kamala go, or whoever was going to go,
Mhm.
would it have been a different thing, or does the racism and misogyny doesn't matter how long she had?
One factor that a lot of these idiots do not bring into consideration is that the reason Trump was running for president because he was desperate. He
Yeah,
was fucked
yeah.
legally. And so he started his campaign a year before everybody else.
He
So
started it at the midterm, so 2 years
midterm.
prior to
Yeah,
the
so
election.
he's been pounding this for forever.
Yeah,
And so he's been in sight forever. And so that's why he was so skewed. And so yeah, his whacked out, lying, fucked up message had more, it was solid more before Kamala Harris' message, which to you and me, which because we're smart, no made sense.
yeah.
But you couldn't get past that laid in foundation. And that's part of the problem with the Democrats pushing out Biden. They panicked after one fucking debate.
Right.
We saw Trump's debate. Did it make a difference? No, it made no fucking difference.
No, and the
And
debate didn't make any difference for Kamala. She didn't win
yeah,
anything, and she clearly kicked his ass.
yeah. And so the thing about it is, what happened with the old school Democrats is that they're paying the price for their lack of vision and not stepping back and going, oh, not looking at it. Now, of course, we're doing a Monday morning quarterback,
Right.
so it's easy to see that. But let's face it, Trump really didn't want to be president. He just wanted to save his ass, and he did.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, and I saw your video, and I saw a lot of people upset of what Jack Smith. You know what?
He had no
Jack Smith
choice.
probably no, yeah, I know. Jack Smith probably went to Merrick Garland and said, "What do you want to do?" And Merrick Garland says, "Oh, my shit's packed.
Yeah.
My shit's packed. You do what you want." He had no backup. He really did have no backup.
Well,
He was DOA.
what you have to understand about Jack Smith, he had few options.
Mhm.
He dismissed the case without prejudice. Now,
Yeah.
hold on to that, and I'll tell you what that means in a minute. But it was a better option for him to do what he did
Mhm.
as opposed to Donald Trump coming in and dismantling everything.
Mhm.
So when they dismissed it without prejudice, that means he can bring it back when Donald Trump is out of office. Whether he
Right.
will or not, I don't know. But that could be 4 years from now. But fuck, that could be a year from now, for all we know. So theoretically, basically Jack didn't want Donald Trump to have a chance to dismantle this and
Mhm.
make the DOJ worse off than that. But he had no choice, and it's all because it's not a rule. It's not a law. It's not a fucking norm. It's a memo in the DOJ that says you cannot indict a sitting president. It's absolutely bullshit and flies in the face of what they always tell us, no one's above the law. That's
Yeah.
bullshit because Donald Trump is.
The biggest mistake that Gerald Ford did was pardoning Nixon, because
Yeah.
all the prosecutors at that time were ready. They were going to drag Nixon out. They were going to put him in jail. They were going to convict him. By Gerald Ford doing that, he set a precedent.
Yeah.
Now, he set a precedent probably thinking no one would do this, but he didn't know what was coming down the pike.
Right.
But him not allowing the law to get Nixon was the biggest mistake because he did put Nixon above the law.
Yeah,
And
damn.
don't tell me it was better for the nation. Fuck that.
It
That was
wasn't.
just an excuse for the Republican Party.
It
It
was. It was
doesn't
just
work like
some.
that.
It was just some bullshit. Now, you were talking about this earlier, and people accuse me of being a Pollyanna or finding the glass half full. But when we talk about Donald Trump taking over as president, we get everybody saying, "Oh, he's just going to run wild. He's going to do whatever he wants to do." And the signs I've seen tell me that's not the case. And Jace, I think, brought it up too that these people, these regular Republicans, do have to get reelected. I think Donald Trump had value up until the election. When he won the election, he becomes a liability for the Republican Party because of the crazy shit he's going to do. They know how disastrous it's going to be. So they're going to put a short lease on this motherfucker, which is going to be interesting because he doesn't go for that shit. But they're going to have to, unless they want everything to implode for them. If he does the tariffs, for example, and gas prices go up and the economy goes to shit, Donald Trump doesn't have to pay for that. The Republican Party does in 2026.
Right.
They know that. So they're going to put some guardrails up.
Yeah. And also, like, big oil is going, dude, you cannot put a 25% tax on Canada.
Right.
We get a lot of oil and refined oil come out of Canada. We don't refine here. We ship out and it's refined.
Right.
People don't realize that. The biggest problem with tariffs, and let's shift into the economy real quick. And I keep seeing with these people, what is that? The millennium with that idiot that he's back again.
Older
He was
millennial.
talking, so he was talking about Walmart's already warning that prices are going to go up.
Right.
And he said, that's a good thing. Why is it a good thing? Because then people will buy American. Okay, let's all put everything on the table. And we cannot live in a closed economy. That's what they want. A
Right.
closed economy. Everything's made here, we buy, and then we export out. And so we make money that way. That was thinking in the late 20s and 30s that led to the Great Depression.
Right.
Now, why do I know this? Because I was taught that in my history class in high school. That was in a fucking textbook in high school. That wasn't an economics class. That's what it taught me in high school.
What people have to understand is this. You put the tariffs on, and then you force people to buy American, okay? First of all, anything produced in America, well, not anything, but some of the things that you buy from China, Mexico, or Canada are already more expensive than what's coming from those other countries, right? So then when you take the competition away from those American companies, then they have a monopoly of sorts. What happens? The fucking prices go up. It's about supply and demand. There won't be enough supply. The demand will be high and the prices will go up. So don't tell me that they're going to force people to buy American. Yeah, they might, but it's still going to cost us a lot of money.
Well, here's the thing. Let's because these people are so insane on the transition team. Last time we spoke, we talked about the agricultural transition, saying that they're going to put 20% tariffs on all foodstuffs coming in the United States. So one guy was doing, and TikTok's been doing a pretty good, like give and go on what MAGA feels and that. And he talked about coffee. So let's talk about three things. And I did this on a video. One, let's talk about coffee. Where is coffee grown in the United States?
I don't think it is it?
Two places.
Is it?
Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And Hawaii in Kona.
Okay.
Okay. I've been to the big island in Hawaii. I've seen the Kona coffee farms. They're on one fucking mountainside on a 10-mile road.
Yeah.
Do you know how much Kona coffee cost the last time I checked? $36 a pound.
Wow.
A pound. Because that shit is high quality. Same thing with Puerto Rico. They don't make that much coffee, but it's considered, because of the soil and the temperate, considered high-end coffee. So if you guys think that Starbucks is going to be starting getting coffee from the Americas, you're out of your mind. They're going to get their coffee where they normally get: Venezuela, Colombia, the South American countries, Ethiopia. They're going to get that, and they're going to pass on the price to you. We do not make certain foodstuffs.
Right.
Second, rice. I know they do rice in the Sacramento Delta in California. I know they do rice in South Carolina. Same thing, because of swamplands. There's not enough rice done in this country to justify it, just to replace it. You can't buy American-made rice,
Right.
like you can't buy American-made coffee, because these guys are insane. They think everyone just that America makes everything. No, we don't. And you don't grow stuff in the United States because some places, some things cannot be grown in the United States. And then conversely, with this 35% Chinese tariff, which I don't understand, we're already winning the trade war with China under the Biden administration, is soybeans.
Right.
Why? We don't eat tofu.
No, I
We do
don't.
not. We don't eat tofu, and there's not enough soybean oil in the United States that we buy. It goes. It's a cash crop exported to Japan and China. The
Right.
last time Trump did this bullshit, the Chinese said, "Fuck it, we're not buying your soybeans anymore," and he broke Iowa farmers,
Right.
and he had to give them the $59 billion in trade-offs.
Right.
You cannot do this. It's insane, but these guys are so deep in their insanity. When told, hey, we don't grow coffee or rice, they said, well, Americans just don't eat them. Don't eat them. I mean, this is what we're dealing with. The Trump team, Trump himself is insane. The Trump team around him are evil and insane.
Yeah.
They are totally dedicated to this whole America first at any cost,
You,
period.
you know what I was surprised to find out is that we import more from Canada and Mexico than we do
Yes.
China. And people have to wonder what comes in from Canada or Mexico. I didn't even know, so I looked it up. And as you pointed out, oil comes in from
Mm-hmm.
Canada. So
Refined.
your gas prices are going to go up. And did you know in Mexico, I read this, I'm pretty positive that it's right. Uh, did you know that out of every 100 cars sold in America, 16%, 16 out of 100 are made in Mexico? So
Yeah.
now car prices are going to go up.
That doesn't even count the parts
Well, that's the
that
next
made.
thing I was going to say is there's parts and products for cars coming out of Mexico. So you're going to be a higher price for buying a car. You're going to have a higher price for fueling the car. And then if you have to fix the car, it's going to be more expensive.
You know how much tomatoes that are shipped in from Mexico as part of a for the United States? It's a
No,
huge amount. Do you remember when um, Governor Abbott had his little tissy fit and shut down the border for days? Do
right.
you know how much food he ruined coming into Mexico? It was
Uh,
close to $1 billion. He
wow.
put people out of business. There were trucks just sitting there that when they got there, their produce was rotten.
Yeah.
You see, these guys are so narrow-minded. They think they're saving America from whatever that we can. This isolationism doesn't work.
No, it
We
doesn't
can't
work.
be isolated in a world where you can contact someone across the world in 30 seconds. It's insane. But they've gone back to this 19th century thinking it's going to save America from what? Well, I know from what. I mean, we know what's going on with these fake Christians and they're basically becoming the Taliban. It's ridiculous.
Well,
And good. Sorry.
something as simple as you said is tomatoes. Somebody might say, "What? Fuck it. Who cares if tomatoes get in here? Tomatoes are in fucking everything. You like
Exactly.
pizza? It's in that. You like soup? It's in that. Spaghetti, everything. There's tomatoes in everything. You want a taco? You got tomatoes. You got everything you fucking do has tomatoes. So it seems like a small item, but when all of a sudden we can't get them or can't afford them, there's going to be people fucking screaming.
It's sad that again we're under the root of marching morons. These morons have no idea. And the sad thing about it is they just kind of still don't get it.
Right.
And I think one creator made a good comment, and I hope he's wrong, is that when shit hits the fan and it starts to get bad, because unfortunately it's going to get bad before it gets better and people realize we can't do this shit, they still will back him because they're cultists. And I'm hoping that a few days of going, hey, what do you mean I'm not going to get my disability check, is going to shake them out of their stupidity, but I
Well,
don't know.
here's the thing. I'm not as worried about the cult members because they only have so much power. They're being used and manipulated every day. But like you said, when we're talking about oil prices, Donald Trump is talking about drill, baby drill, and the oil
And the
companies
oil
saying,
companies are going,
yeah,
where?
no. What happens when he starts getting pressure from big business like oil companies, like food companies, people that have the money, the people that are important to him? Does he fold? I think he does because he's a pussy ass bitch.
He would fold. I don't know if his people around him want him to fold because they're basically
But Donald
so
Trump makes
dedicated.
all the choices. He doesn't listen to shit.
Yeah, the only issue is that a lot of these people he puts around are Christian nationalists, and they don't care, because to them, if they break the country, they can rebuild the country in their own religious view. I mean, again, the Handmaid's Tale has been used quite a bit in describing others, but you have to read the book,
Yeah.
because the rise of Gilead was started as a cult, and then they got more power, and decided, hey, we'll just wipe out Congress, and they did.
Yeah.
And then they established their own rule. The point is, if you don't, if you, these guys around him are fanatics, and that's scary. You've seen that guy, who's the border czar,
Yeah.
that
Horgan.
Horgan. This man thinks he is going to call the military out to invade states.
Yeah.
He threatened the mayor of Denver, who says, no, I don't want federal troops in Denver. That's my city's rights and the state's rights.
Right.
Oh, we'll just arrest you. Dude, you don't control the military. You don't control the police. You are not the end all be all.
Yeah.
That's how
He
they
thinks he is.
think.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I mean, when Rand Paul goes, no, I don't think the military is a good idea. We can still deport them, but we can use legal means.
Yeah.
That's a big fucking sign.
Yeah.
Rand Paul? Oh
Well,
my.
well, you think
I mean,
we talk about, I keep talking about the guardrails that Republicans themselves will put up. I mean, we've seen it already. When Donald Trump wanted Rick Scott as the majority leader, they didn't take him. They took John Thune. When they wanted Matt Gaetz to be the attorney general, basically the Senate said, fuck no. John Cornyn went up to Matt Gaetz. Senator John Cornyn, a Republican from Texas, says, dude, that hearing is going to be way worse than what Brett Kavanaugh went through, and I'm sure that sunk in with Matt Gaetz. So every time they've tried to do something that's a little outrageous, the Senate has kind of pushed back, and I think that's what we're going to see. I don't know if they'll push back enough to save us from everything, but to think it's Donald Trump's going to have his way and do anything he wants, I don't think that's the case.
yeah, I mean, honestly, everyone's, to an extent, we're freaking out about RFK. Can you imagine the first RFK Senate hearing?
Yeah,
That'll be it. It'll be over. It'll be totally fucking over.
yeah,
I mean, there's no way he gets through the Senate, because there's no one's going to vote for that psycho. I
no,
mean, I mean, there's not going to wait. Good luck, Christy Noom, getting through the Senate. They
yeah,
got a lot of questions for you.
yeah,
The new Attorney General, um, that Pam Bond. Good
yeah.
luck there, because she's been saying shit like, well, you know, she's talking about. I thought this was fucking hilarious. Why, she's talking about, why does Gavin Newsom have a big house? Where did that money come from? Corrupt. Hey, bitch, he's related to the Gettys.
Yeah,
The Gettys own all of Los Angeles. I've seen the museum. They
yeah,
own the fucking Los Angeles Dodgers.
right.
He's got money. You know what? He can use you to scrub his floors. That's how much money he has. And don't go there, he's corrupt. That's the thing I think. Oh, well, maybe they're corrupt on the. Really? Have you looked at your boss recently?
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, it's like I heard that. I'm going, really? You want to go there? You really want to go there? Okay, go there. Gavin Newsom is being a prick, and I love it.
Well, he's trying to
He's
set
being a
himself up to be a candidate in 2028, and he might be the front runner right at this point.
well. What
Things
I mean,
change, though.
he basically stuck a knife into Elon Musk. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, tell him what he did.
Basically, in California, they do give you brakes for electric cars.
Right.
There are brakes, and they give a break for companies. He took the break from Tesla.
Well,
He said everyone can get it, but Tesla.
yeah. Well,
Why?
what they were talking about is there's a federal break for buying
Right.
electric cars, and Donald Trump's talking about getting rid of that. So then Gavin comes along and says, "Yeah, but we'll still give you a break for it, and we'll give you a break for all electric cars, well, except Tesla."
So that's
And then
Tesla.
Elon Musk losing his shit and stuff like that. Elon Musk is not going to come out of this very well because Donald Trump's going to end up hating him. He's going to be cast off, and nobody's going to like him. Everybody's going to be gone from Twitter. People aren't going to want to buy his shit. Elon Musk isn't going to last very well. He may be the richest man in the world, but we'll see how long that lasts.
And the thing about him too, he's filling his oats. He thinks he won the election for Trump. To an
Yeah.
extent, he did. He did put enough money in those shitty ads at the end.
But Donald
That
Trump's
might have
never
been
going to give him credit for that.
no
It was all
hell
Donald
no.
Trump that won. It
Oh
was all
hell
on
no.
him.
And but he's wearing out his welcome to a lot of people already.
Yeah.
And so he's going to find out when push comes to shove, politicians will push,
Yeah.
and they know how to do it. And the thing about it, the funniest thing I saw the other day. So we all know what's going on at MSNBC.
Right.
They are bleeding. They are bleeding viewers, especially Morning Joe. And the ironic thing is, if if Joe Scarborough and Mina Brzezinski were actually real journalists, they could have gone Edward R. Murrow and say, "Hey, we don't care he's president. We're still going to call out his shit." Do you know how many viewers they would have gotten back?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
know what would have happened to them? But no, they chicken shit out, or their boss. No, their bosses. They thought that they could play two against the middle and make nice, and they didn't realize that all of us don't like to be betrayed, and we get a little pissy about it. And then that's on top of Comcast announcing they're starting to break off pieces of themselves, and they
Right.
want to put up MSNBC up for sale.
Yeah.
And then Elon Musk and some drunken stupor said, "Hey, I should buy it and turn it to Fox 2." And a lot of people and creators go, "Oh, we don't want to do that. That's another Fox News. That's ours." And I go, "No, it isn't. It's never been a liberal station. They've
No.
been run by conservatives for years. There have been liberal pits, but they've been sane-washing Trump for years." And the point is, so he buys it, and everyone's freaking out. Well, Fox's ratings are up 40%. Yeah, within that little group,
Yeah.
it's a finite audience, and so if he buys MSNBC, great. So they get ratings like Newsmax.
Well,
He's just
yeah,
going to break off pieces. It's
exactly.
stupid.
When Elon Musk threatens to buy MSNBC, number one, we're not watching it anymore. Who gives a fuck? Number two, let's look at his track record. He bought Twitter, a highly successful platform, for $44 billion. It's now bleeding users, and it's worth maybe $8 or $9 billion. So what are you going to do? You're going to buy MSNBC and run that into the ground? It's already
Yeah,
headed there. So what? Who cares what you do? Buy the fucker.
yeah, buy it. I mean, I said, yeah. I mean, Comcast will go, sure, we'll take your money.
Yeah.
It's not our problem anymore. Because and the thing about it is, the biggest trend in TikTok and in social media is FAFO right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But it's not a joke, because a lot of these um, entities are finding that out. MSNBC is one of them. The newspapers are another one. I mean, subscriptions are down for the Post and the New York Times. No one's watching CNN. No, we're not, because we see what you did.
Right.
We know what you did, and we don't want to deal with it anymore. And by the way, the only people who watch cable news already watch Fox, so you're not gaining their viewers.
Right.
I mean, that was the idea about CNN going more right. because they wanted to get some viewers for Fox. That wasn't going to work.
No.
That's insane. I mean,
It's as crazy as thinking Kamala could get some Republicans to vote for her.
yeah,
They may
yeah,
seem normal, they may seem natural, but they are completely loyal to Republicans
yeah.
regardless who the dumb fuck is running.
And right now it's we're kind of a sit and wait on what's going to happen. But as things start to build up, you're starting to see pushback from business. Because the one thing I want to ask, the biggest question I want to ask about RFK wants to get rid of all these type of medications. How long before big pharma goes,
Well, yeah.
oh God, no, 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 we're not doing that. I mean that, and also they can't. I think the problem we have right now with Trump is that he thinks he's the smartest man in the room. He's always done that. He's a
Right.
narcissist.
Right.
Um, as you said, I mean, he's so narcissistic is that the Biden and has announced that there's a ceasefire for the Hezbollah and Israel,
Yeah.
and the Trump team is taking credit for it.
Well,
That's a Trump win.
that's funny because he said that 24 hours after being elected, he would end the Russian Ukraine war, and we're 3 weeks out now. So, and
Oh, yeah, that's
when he did call Putin and said, "Hey, cool it a little bit," Putin laughed at him and made fun of him in the social media. So Donald
right.
Trump's a pussy ass bitch. He'll try to
I,
latch onto anything, and it's fucking ridiculous.
and the sad thing that kind of escalated. First of all, with Biden say, "Hey, go ahead and use weapons." The British said it. Go ahead and do that, and then Putin dropped intercontinental ballistic missiles into Ukraine without warheads, without nuclear warheads, but with warheads. That was pretty destructive, and that was just a warning.
Well, and
So this thing is escalated,
well,
and
yeah,
it's not Biden's fault.
no, no, it's not Biden's fault. But with regards to the Hezbollah peace treaty,
Mm,
these dumb motherfuckers probably think, oh, the Middle East war is over now. No, the
no,
war wasn't with Hezbollah. It was with Hamas. Hezbollah came in later and they're trying to shut that down. The war between Israel and Hamas still raging.
yeah,
So there was not, I didn't even report on it because I'm not going to report on a ceasefire until it stops the shit. The Hezbollah thing was a side thing and it
yeah.
wasn't good. And it's good that they have a ceasefire, but there isn't anything to cheer about till they figure out the Israeli Hamas problem.
And the practical thing for the Israelis, I don't want two fronts.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
whatever. We can deal with you later. Now we can go deal with the Palestinians and get them out in the desert and start getting ready for the resorts.
Right.
I mean, that's the plan is. They already annexed the West Bank,
Right.
so that's going to happen. And again, to you, pro-Palestinians. Oh, by the way, Pam Bondi also said she wants to deport any kind of pro-Palestinian protesters. She wants them to get them arrested and deported. So this is really your plan is really working well, guys.
Yeah, you really came out
Nothing.
nice on that. You're going to
Yeah,
get
you
these
really came
poor
out
people
well.
slaughtered and you're going to get probably persecuted. So
Eh,
good for you.
Yeah, good. I mean, and the thing about it, they lost. They actually lost not only the narrative, but they lost their goal
Yeah.
because it all became just a speaking point for them, a narrative,
Right.
because they didn't see the picture years ago in when I was in high school. And that's how long this has been going on. The Palestinians.
Been
I'm
going on
going back
since
to the old,
48. I mean,
yeah.
since I was in high school and
So
beyond.
we go back to like the PLO days, the
Right.
Yasser Arafat days. They had a lot of peace plans. The Palestinians had a lot of chances with Labor Party Israeli prime ministers to come to a peace agreement with two states, but the Palestinians would always do something to fuck it up.
Yeah.
As one person, diplomat said when the PLO fucked up again, he goes, "Leave it to the Palestinians to be their own worst enemy.
Yeah.
They never, ever can come to the table and come and negotiate a peace because they're still stuck on Israel couldn't exist, and it cost them in the end. And now here we are.
Well, yeah,
And
I remember being a teenager. Jimmy Carter was the president. He had this
mhm,
great big peace talk and then the signing of a treaty between Menachem Begin and Yasser Arafat. Okay. I think it
Mhm.
was Arafat. And they signed this
Well, you mean Anwar Sadat? You're talking about
Anwar
Egypt, the
Sadat,
Egyptian. Yeah.
the Egyptian. Yeah. Well, they had this peace treaty. But then what happens later? Um, uh, Sadat ends up getting shot while sitting in the stands. I mean, the shit's always going on. It's nothing new. That's
And
why I say I don't have a horse in the race. I'd love to worry about the poor people, but we got some problems here.
and then fast forward, Rabin gets assassinated
Yep.
before they get peace. It's a perpetual circle, and they return to what we have now with Netanyahu and the Palestinians in the United States, so narrow-minded. Again, their own worst enemy. If you had decided to set that aside and keep going and keep not buying into this genocide bullshit, because we knew it was bad, all you had to do was stick together for 3 months,
Yeah.
and then Netanyahu would be on the back foot. He couldn't do what he's doing. They
Right.
wouldn't have annexed the West Bank because they knew it would have been a different people, a different administration. But you dumbasses thought you were right, thought you had moral high ground. You don't have moral high ground. No, you didn't. You never had the moral high ground. What you had was selfishness.
Yep.
Simple
Absolutely.
as that. And that's what cost you. That's what cost everyone. No one will do anything for the good of others anymore.
Well,
Only those of us who were supporting Kamala Harris thought that way.
yeah.
Everyone who voted for Trump had a selfish motive for themselves, be it the economy, be it the Palestinians, be it I hate those brown people. I want something.
Well,
It's never about the whole country. It's been about me. And that's the worst thing that could happen.
well,
And that's what we saw happen.
and here's the thing. As an old white guy sitting in my living room, people want me to worry about what's going on between Israel and Hamas and the people in Gaza. And I feel bad for them and I hate to see them suffering. That's not the only place on the planet this shit's going on. There's bad shit in other areas that we don't even know about. So don't tell me it's just this spot. But here's the deal based on what happened, as much as I care about what happens to those Palestinian folks, I got some real problems here. I
Yep.
got women dying in Texas because they can't get health care because of some stupid law. I've
Yep.
got women in Florida dying. I've got women being attacked constantly. There's a war against women. I got somebody who wants to overthrow the government and and crash the economy. As much as I'd like to worry about Palestine, the Palestinians and Gaza and stuff, I can't. I got bigger things that affect me directly and my family directly. I've got to
Mhm.
fix that before I can worry about somebody else and what they're going through.
And that's where the narrow-minded and selfishness came in.
Right.
Again, to see a bigger picture of everything means you have to look beyond yourself.
Right.
Look beyond, I mean, outside of your family, because that's your core.
Right.
You have to look at what's the good for everything. And no one did that. Because if you listen to this to everyone, I'm going to get something. I'm going to get something for this. And the sad thing about it, you're not going to get anything.
No.
No one's giving. I mean, no one's giving you anything. See, that's the biggest thing. You have to. The good thing about working in sales, and that I've done for close to 20 years now, no one gives you anything. You have to
No.
go get it.
Right.
You have to figure out a way to get it. The good ones do. That's why only like 20% of salesmen make 80% of the sales,
Right.
because you understand you have to go get it. What's the difference between a superstar athlete and a non-superstar athlete? Is that the superstar athlete is always dedicated and motivated, even though they're on top, they keep moving. The
Right.
one story I always love about Mookie Betts is that he is at the top of his game. He's got 3 rings. He's all this. He still comes to the ballpark 2 hours earlier and takes ground balls.
Right.
He doesn't have to do that. But why does he do it? Because that makes him better. Stories about Michael Jordan, stories about Kobe Bryant, stories about Tom Brady. This is what, and that's the thing. In your life, the people that people hate are the people who achieve the most because they work at it. The people who are jealous of them don't work at it. I remember when the whole Haitian thing broke, they talked about some people in Springfield, Ohio. They were mad because the Haitians got a Mercedes. Yeah, the fucking Haitian is a dentist.
Yeah.
He worked his ass off to get the Mercedes. Why don't I have one? You don't have one because one, you don't have a job. Two, you don't want to get a job. And two, you're not fucking motivated. No one gives you shit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Right? This election, if you want to bomb, you want a whole fucking idea why this election went down. Kamala Harris was asking people to work with us to work towards something more. Donald Trump is saying, I'm going to give you something.
Right.
Oh, okay. I'll take the guy who's going to give me something, even though it's a lie.
Yeah.
Because working is not within a lot of these people's province. That's why a lot of people in Texas right now, especially builders, are going, hey, you know that immigration thing might be a bad idea because we kind of need the people that work hard.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, that's the thing. It was about, if you want to break it down, fuck the pundits, fuck the politicians. It's you people were selfish and wanted something for nothing. We're now realizing it was a fucking con, and the rest of us were willing to work for it. That's why she got the $1 billion. That's why people were knocking on doors. They were working, trying to get it there. The problem is we were outnumbered by the lazy fucks.
Lazy
Let's
fucks who
bottom line it.
lazy fucks who bought the bullshit. You know, Will, the whole concept of buying the bullshit, that's something about human nature. That's something that goes on the Republican side and the Democratic side. Right after the election, up until recently, I had people hitting me up all the time. Oh, there was some kind of funny stuff going on. I looked at this, I looked at that, and it looks like there was some cheating going on. Just a matter of time, they're going to tell us that Kamala is really the president. And people kept coming at me with this, and I go, you know, here's the thing: you're hearing what you want to hear. You're getting somebody to explain to you the unexplainable, how Kamala lost. And they look at this has to be an answer. Donald Trump's a crook. Elon Musk this with Starlink. Uh, but you don't hear them talking about that much right now. They've kind of backed off of that. And I'm glad of it because when somebody asked me to come on some Zoom call or something and talk about it, I said, I just don't want to jump on that. I feel like I'm giving people false hope. I mean, I'm sad enough that I told people that Kamala was going to win because everything told me she was going to win. But this sounds like a lot of bullshit. I've seen no evidence. I'm not going to give people false hope. We're just not going to do that. And you can see it kind of fading away. That's how it goes. Even if there was some, the DOJ clearly isn't going to do anything about
Oh,
it.
hell no. Yeah, I mean, if people were on that, I want what they're smoking because that was good stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, there's always some kind of discrepancies in election. There was discrepancies in 2020 election that Trump made big deals of, and what we knew that didn't go anywhere. There's nothing when it comes to that. That's just a pipe dream that you're holding on. You don't want to reevaluate it because all of us who dedicated ourselves to this fight, even if it was just doing our videos or whatever, and those people who knocked on doors, man, that was a gut punch.
Yeah.
That hurt. We were
Yeah.
all on our knees going,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Because it
Yeah.
didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to us. But here's the thing. As we get away from it and close to a month now, and then you and I are talking, it's starting to make sense now what happened.
Well, I know
And it
where I fucked
wasn't
up. I know
what
where I fucked up. I gave people in this country too much credit. I
me
gave
too.
Democrats too much credit for being unified, and I was wrong.
Well,
I should not have given them credit because I didn't even
and
believe it would be close. I mean,
yeah, and the
common
thing,
sense told us it wasn't going to be close.
yeah, and the thing about it's like, and again, as we talked it out a moment ago, it's like, yeah, and also there is nothing. These people just want something. They think they're going to get it. They're not going to get it. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. I want to see what happens when you don't get whatever you wanted. When you don't get lower prices. When you don't get um, a woman in your hands. I don't know what you wanted. I mean, you might get the mass deportations, but I think that's going to be ugly enough where you're going to go, "Oh, I didn't want that." I mean, when you when the videos come up of children being separated, parents again, the violence that's going to happen. I mean, let's be honest. If these assholes think they're going to walk into a city and start pulling people are getting prepped.
Yeah.
It's going to be ugly, and when those things come out, it's not going to be good. The biggest fear I have, the one card that Trump has left to play, and his inner fascist circle is if something so bad happens, they declare a national emergency and toss everything out.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. That's a scary thought, because at that point, he'll try to press authority, and then that could really break this country.
Well,
I hope it doesn't get that far. I hope there's enough people with some common sense to go, oh, hell no. But
yeah.
I don't know. That's my biggest fear
Well,
through all this.
we know people in the Pentagon were talking about ways to Trump proof what's going on. They know about
Yeah,
the possibilities. And Donald Trump, like I say, he's coming in. He doesn't have as much power in 2016 because he's been completely wrung out. There's nothing more he can offer the Republican Party or this country. If there is something where he's going into cities, that's when you're seriously looking at the possibility of a civil war of
right.
some sort, because the Democrats, the liberal folks, are not going to put up with this shit, and they're going to fight back.
Yeah.
And if the military doesn't fall in line with Donald Trump, there could be a real fucking coup. They go up to the Capitol and take that motherfucker out, just like Mussolini in Italy.
Yeah, because I don't think you're going to have a Douglas MacArthur issue with the military. I don't think he has those type of generals. He may have it on the lower ranks,
Yeah.
but good luck to getting some soldiers to follow those guys.
Well, he's going to try to
Um,
get out those generals, though, and I don't know what power he has to do that, but he's going to try to drum out some of the people that might, that's what people are talking about.
mm,
People are saying, well, he's bringing all these crazy people in to be in his cabinet. The point is he's just trying to destroy everything. And I don't know that that's true. There might be weird, crazy, evil people wanting to do that in the background, but I don't think that's what Donald Trump is doing. I think he has these weird, crazy fucking people as people running his departments. For one, people he can manipulate. But more importantly than that, when he came in 2016, he had some that were quasi legitimate, that kind of had the experience to do that.
right.
Now, those people don't want no part of this now because they know
Yeah, they're
what the
running for.
result is. They're going to
A
get
lot of them
fired,
are
they're
out
going
of
to
this
get
country.
embarrassed, or they're going to get indicted. So they don't want any part of
No,
this
they don't
shit.
want nothing to do with him. And a lot of them are running for the hills because, again, if their GOJ is going to be concentrating on getting payback, they don't want any part of this. That's the thing we don't know. I mean, it's shaping up to be not what you think it's going to be,
Yeah.
because even the idea of using the military, there's a lot of pushback on that.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea is that, again, the military swears oath to the Constitution, not to the president. That was designed that
Theoretically,
way.
theoretically, that's true. It's a matter of if
And,
they hold to
is-
that.
is- and so we're hoping that piece of paper will hold up, and you're hoping that there's enough sane people in the Pentagon that can hold on to it. Because, again, I find it hard to believe they're not having meetings in the deepest part of the Pentagon to try to figure out what's going to happen. Because honestly, majority of military people have honor. They have honor, and they know it's dishonorable to do what Trump wants them to do. They know it's dishonorable. I mean, they've seen, you know, Kent State. That was dishonorable. There was no reason to fire on protesters.
No.
What happened to the George Floyd around D.C. Mark, that still haunts Millie for letting that happen. That was violence that the military should have never been part of, and a lot of those National Guard units were still haunted by it.
Yeah.
Um, they don't want that because they've grown up, and I don't think his um, Secretary of Defense nominee is going to make it through the Senate,
No.
because that guy is got
He's a piece of shit.
yeah, in many ways, And the idea of the idea of, oh yeah, we don't want women in the military. Oh really? There's 17% of the military are female. Good
Right.
luck with that.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that I'm really shameful is this Jim Crow attitude against transgender people.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing in Congress setting up a Jim Crow law because someone can't use the bathroom? What's the difference between that and blacks and whites only bathrooms? What's
Yeah.
the difference? There's none. That is who fucking cares? Oh no, by the way, I figure her office might have her own bathroom.
Yeah.
What to watch Nancy Mace run around, I don't get it. And then to watch, Mike Johnson agreeing with why? Why is that important? Again, I know this is cover. A lot of this is cover. They want to make noise while they fuck with us in the background.
Right.
But why are you guys adopting these Jim Crow laws? Why isn't the press not calling it a Jim Crow law? Why don't you call it what it is? I remember it. I've heard it. I read it. I
Yeah.
lived in the 60s, the late 60s. I was 8. I knew what was going on. This is exactly the same fucking thing. So don't lie to yourselves, guys. You're not doing anything. You're just using excuses to be prejudiced. And it's stupid
You know,
for one person.
yeah. Well, then that's the whole point. Everybody makes out that we have this onslaught of transgender folks. There are transgender folks. They are Americans. They deserve their rights. But in terms of percentages in this country, this isn't really an issue. People can be what they want to be. It's not like 50% of this country is transgender or that these people are trying to recruit other people to be transgender. There's no benefit in that. It's just all a bunch of noise they're saying because they're terrified. That's everything about the Republican Party. We don't like people of color because we're terrified of them. We don't like transgender people because we're terrified of them. They might infringe on our whiteness and our superiority.
It's sad, and it's not much. In that I'm going. I don't get it. She doesn't want to. She right. I want to make sure I hear it right.
Yes.
She doesn't want to fight it. She should take him to court and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, that violates every fucking federal law about open, base that came up from Jim Crow days."
Right.
But she doesn't want to fight it because hoping it goes away. But you can't go away because some people are making their bones on it.
Right.
That's kind of sad, and that's the chaos we're going to deal with. The chaos and the dystopia are the two things we're going to have to fight through. The good thing that Biden has done is push through 61 judges,
Yeah. A
a
lot.
majority being black and female.
Right.
And Trump is flipping out, and the Trump transition team is flipping out. Why? Because they know once they get them up on the appeal benches, it's not going to be good.
No.
He's doing that on purpose. So that's a good thing. He's a lame duck. He's going to do what he needs to do. Same thing with what's going on in Ukraine. He's going to do what he has to do. And I thought I saw a report. Kamala Harris has been on vacation for the last few weeks. Well, of course, shit, she should.
Yeah.
She's
She worked her
tired.
ass off.
But you know what? The report came from the Daily Mail and goes, she was boarding Air Force Two. Kamala Harris returning from her vacation at a $1,300 a night per room night hotel. What are you saying? What are you talking about? That is such. The implication is, yeah, she's spending money that no one else has. What the fuck are you talking about? Have you been to a good hotel?
Yeah.
I've been to a good hotel. The last time I was on a really good hotel, that was $600 a night.
Yeah.
And I'm not rich, but I
Yeah.
planned for it.
Yeah.
So the point being, I saw that, I'm going, you just can't let it go, huh? You need one more little poke at it. And it's not going to make a difference. because the majority of these people are rich as fuck
Well, and if
and
it
they
had
don't care.
and if it had been a Trump hotel, it would have been 2,600 because he would have hiked up the prices to pocket the money.
And it would have been like a Motel 6.
Yeah, exactly. With
I mean,
rats.
his hotels are horrid. I mean, they're just ridiculously bad.
Yeah.
It's there's nothing there. Um, and that's the thing. We're getting run like a Trump entity, and that's just bad.
And they all fail.
They all fail, and I'm hoping we could. There's no bankruptcy for the president for the Republic, the United States, because I don't know because he's not. I'm worried about the first natural disaster.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of FEMA?
I don't
Who?
even know.
I don't know because that scares the hell out of me. You're talking about the problems with the made up problems of the Biden administration. What happens when the first fucking hurricane rolls up? It's going
Yeah.
to happen.
Yeah.
What happens, the first, you know, real crisis? There was a case of bird flu in California. Oh God, that would be fun again. Let's roll pandemic 2
Yeah.
under the Trump administration with RFK in charge. Oh my God. And that's the thing, but if that man gets in charge of it, all those diseases that were gone are back.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it takes for a measles outbreak to spread? Days.
Yeah. I know.
It's exponential. Days, mumps, chicken pox. And the worst thing about it, he is against the polio vaccine.
Oh, Jesus
The
Christ.
oldest, most brilliant vaccine that saved millions of lives, and probably my own when I took it. He is against it. Polio. You people don't know how bad that is. I do. My mom worked in the last polio ward in Los Angeles. She told me, you do not want that loose again. But we have this unbelievable incompetency that Trump thinks is smart. And
Yeah.
he's on ahead of it thinking he knows everything. He knows better than the economist that tariffs are going to save this country. From what?
From what?
I'm
Yeah,
waiting.
exactly.
I'm waiting.
Do, do,
And
do,
that's
do you think
good.
he has to do the tariff? I mean, theoretically, there was a law passed recently that made it so that Donald Trump or any other president couldn't unilaterally issue tariffs. Now, there's some people that say he can do it with a executive order. And he may have done that with the farmers back in his day when he fucked everything up. I don't know that the Republicans are going to let him do that. They're going to find a way to shut him down because it's going to cause nothing but disaster for this
I
economy, and
mean,
it's going to be all on the Republicans.
and you saw that what his announcement on the 25% tariffs for Canada
Mm-hmm.
and Mexico.
No.
It was about until you stop the drugs coming into the United States and you stop immigrants. And I'm going, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, how does that have anything to do with trade? They're
Well,
not in charge of that. That's insane. And the Mexican government's always said, okay, tit for tat, we'll
we'll
do what
put
we have to do.
and we'll put tariffs on your shit. Yeah, exactly.
And
Well, here's the thing about Donald Trump that people have to understand, and I get frustrated with Democrats who get upset. Donald Trump says something, and then all of a sudden they go, "Oh my God, he said that. It must be true. It's going to happen." You got to understand how Donald Trump thinks. Donald Trump just pulls shit out of his ass and says stuff. If somebody on his staff says, "Don't say that," then you know he's going to say it. His staff may or may not agree with him on it. He just spews shit forth. And if you think back to when he was the president between 2017 and 2021, what's the one thing we know? He's incompetent. He
mm,
talks a lot of shit and gets very little done because he's inept. He doesn't know how to run the machine. The people he's bringing on are dumber than he is. So the idea that he's going to be able to pull off anything of any major size seems ridiculous because he just doesn't have the mental wherewithal.
I mean, the biggest thing, the fear with the immigration thing is the terror
Yeah.
and the violence, because that's what they're setting up for. I mean, that's what they want. They want a fight. They think it's going to, and that's the one thing that MAGA has given them is that they want to fight. They want people of color to suffer. It makes them feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad. Your life
It's
is pretty miserable like that.
incredibly
And again,
sad.
that goes back to the selfish thing. I voted for Trump because I want to see other people suffer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sad for your life.
Well, the problem is in the process, they're going to suffer themselves. They're willing to put themselves at risk to watch other people suffer. But here's what you got to understand. Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall on the border and Mexico was going to pay for it. That didn't happen. Prior to the 2016 election, he talked about deportation too. He says, we're
Right.
going to deport all the illegals at the border, all this. We're going to deport. You know how many people he deported in his term?
I don't
One
know. I think it was less than Biden, wasn't it?
1.5 million. Joe did about the same. Obama did 1.9 one term and like 1.6 the next term. So he talks a good game, but he can't really pull anything off. He says a lot of stuff, but he doesn't have the ability to actually coordinate something. We should be thankful about one thing with Donald Trump becoming president. He's absolutely incompetent. If we had somebody that was sharp, I would say, oh my God, this is going to go
Yeah.
down badly. But he will fuck it up because he fucks up everything.
But part of the problem we're going to have is that the media is starting to sandwash a lot of stuff. I was watching Paramount Plus. I was watching the show, and a commercial came up for CBS News, and CBS is going to do this 60 minutes documentary on immigration, and they call it America's Migrant Reckoning. And I
Yeah.
watched this, and it was just a clips, and it was like watching a Fox News
Yeah.
report. It
Well,
was, I mean, it was really kind of cheering for mass deportations. It was kind of sad to watch that.
right.
I
Well,
mean,
at this point, with the mass exodus from uh, mainstream media, who cares? Nobody's watching the shit anymore. They're going down the tubes. They can't continue doing what they're doing without being sold off or going fucking bust. It's a bad time for mainstream media, and it's just going to get worse.
yeah, I mean, I, I, it's kind of funny where the good thing about the internet is that you can get headlines from news sources that kind of glean the news from it
Right.
and pick what you want.
Right.
The problem with the problem with news programs is that they stopped being news programs and became political
Right.
programs. And instead of a bunch of news on the hour every hour with a um, political stuff on the weekends, they turned it upside down.
Right.
And now people don't want to watch because you're not giving us information. You're giving us opinions. You and I are giving us opinions right now with some facts tossed in, our
Yeah.
evaluations of everything. They
But
do the
we're,
same.
yeah, they do the same, but there's a difference because what they do is not what they want to do as individuals. They do what they're manipulated to do by the corporations and the wealthy people that own the organizations. That's a real
Mm,
problem with the media. It's who they're controlled by. You could have the best reporter in the world, but if your rich boss says no, you don't want to talk about this, you need to talk about that, you need to talk about it this way. That's one of the reasons I think people come to the internet because some clown like me or some clown like you just says what we believe. There's nobody
mm.
standing over us to tell us what we should do and shouldn't do. And frankly, if I had somebody telling me what I should or shouldn't do, I just wouldn't fucking do it.
I mean, there's the other side too. They say their stuff, but most of the people hear that and go, "Nah, that ain't gonna work." Uh, it's with the holidays right now. Everyone's kind of it. First things first. If you have MAGA in your family and you're worried about it, here's a solution for you. Just send them a Kroger coupon or a local store market coupon for $15, $20 and say, hey, go get your own Thanksgiving dinner and just walk away from it. You
No,
you acknowledge their existence because they're not worth it. They're not.
no, no.
I mean, I'm lucky that I don't have that issue. I don't have a big family anymore. And if we had gotten together like we used to. My mom would step on that shit because my
Yeah.
mom wouldn't put up with it at the time. But if you're stuck going to what, I mean, it's not worth the toxicity and it's not worth the whining. You guys stop whining. I mean, it's really fun to watch. I saw a video of someone complaining that they spent $300 on Walmart for groceries. And I saw the groceries. There's only so much bags of chips you can buy
Right, right, right,
to survive. And then conversely, I saw someone said, "Hey, I spent $140 for groceries now that Trump's been elected." You guys are just so sad,
yeah.
so sad.
Stupid. It's stupid.
Now, I mean, get look. Going back to I think the main theme of this, we got undone by people who are lazy and selfish, who believe they should be
And
given
stupid.
everything in their life, and stupid, moronic, who think they should be given everything in life based on mostly their skin color, if they're male or female, and they ignore everything else around them because they want what they're going to get, what they want. We care about talking about that another third woman who died in Texas
Right,
because she couldn't get medical care. The idea of women's rights being removed, the idea that here in Georgia, they basically removed the mortality committee because they spoke the truth
right,
about what's going on with abortions. Um, uh, we care about the education that's going to happen to children because it's going to get skewed very badly with the closing of the Department of Education and some kind of weird ass Christianity they want to voice on our kids. I'm so glad my kids don't have to go to school anymore. I'm
yeah,
so glad. But I feel bad for everyone else because your choices might be slim and none, and you have to send them out to inferior quality education. And what about the teachers who want to do their job? They're gone. They
yeah.
don't want to do this. I mean, it's the next few years. Not only is that we have to fight the stupid, because the stupid and the screaming and the transgender and the culture wars are hiding what they're doing behind it. The dismantling of 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 American institutions and dismantling of education, the dismantling of our healthcare behind the scenes to all of a sudden we look back and go, we have nothing.
Right.
And that's a scary thought because whether we like it or not, these Christian nationalists are going to make a move. And that's a scary thought.
It
We
is.
cannot have that because they are not Christians. They are full
No.
Christians. They use that as a PowerPoint, and it's not going to make America better. Every one of those people in Trump's cabinet are Christian nationalists.
Right.
Look
Oh,
them
yeah.
up, and it's a scary thought. The only thing that we hope is that the fear of getting so far right is going to is enough to make certain politicians balk. Might be our only last saving grace because I don't know if it gets. I don't know what's going to happen. That's the hardest thing I think for all of us. We don't know.
Yeah.
We're hoping, but we don't know. And anyone who thinks they do is lying to you,
Right.
or they have an agenda they want to push. So the best thing we can do, and I'm starting to see it from a lot of the normal sources of information, they're starting to ramp back up. Now, are they going after? They're starting to ramp back up and understanding we might not be able to do anything politically, but if we scream loud and shout enough and start waving stuff, people might pay attention finally and see what's going on because now this ain't rhetoric, y'all. This is reality,
It is.
and we have to figure out how to make it not as bad as it's going to be. And you hope it won't be that bad,
You
but
know,
it's going to be painful.
well, what I'm finding interesting about the Republicans, specifically the Donald Trump circle,
Hmm.
one thing I knew we were going to see, and we're already starting to see it, and I don't quite understand what's going on. is that they're going to eat themselves, much like the Republicans have up to this point, and it's going to be more so. But this is an interesting story, and I'm not quite sure. Guy by the name of Boris Epstein. He seems to be one of the closest advisors to Donald Trump. But this is a story. Attorneys for Donald Trump conducted an internal investigation into allegations that one of his top aides, Boris Epstein, has sought to gain financially from his influence with Trump and others in the presidential elect's orbit, according to multiple sources familiar with the matter. Now, how does that make sense? Here's a guy that's very close to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's own lawyers are investigating this close advisor for using influence to Trump. Here's what I'm thinking. He's Donald Trump's buddy, right? The
Mhm.
moment Donald Trump heard that he was making money off Donald Trump's name and Donald Trump wasn't getting a taste, he going, fuck that guy. Let's bury him.
Just think, just think mob,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So the mob boss goes, "Oh, I didn't get my kick up,
Your tribute?
my tribute. Oh, that's too bad. Really, that man is gone."
Don't
I
get in a
mean,
car with somebody sitting in the back seat. I'm just telling you that. Don't do that. Don't sit in
the
the passenger seat with somebody in the back. Just
the
don't
the
do.
yeah, the coldest line in The Godfather will always be this: is the at the end, Abe Vigoda's um to I forgot the actor's name. He'll come back to me. He goes, can you give me a break for old time's sake?" And he just shakes his head. That's it. You're done. I mean, that's the thing. There is no old time shake. See, this is about money and
Yeah.
grift. There's a lot of money that Trump is planning on, and like he did before, of ripping us off for.
Right.
That's another thing you selfish assholes don't understand. He's going to keep it all.
Yeah.
I mean,
He doesn't want anybody else getting money. So when he
no,
finds out somebody else is, there's trouble.
to use a geek line, he does not share power.
No.
He does not share. I mean, this is all about him, and that's the thing. They might blunt him, and Trump doesn't really give a fuck as long as he get his money.
Right.
He's going to get his money one way or the other. Elon Musk, better watch it. He'll get his money. He'll figure out a way. You don't think the DOJ could figure out a way to get this man's money?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be terrible, Elon. Horrible. Oh, look, you're getting deported to South Africa. Isn't that horrible?
Well, that's it. He doesn't like Elon. He likes Elon's money, and if
Yeah.
he can, like you say, if he can find a way to take it from him, who more powerful than the president of the United States be able to take money illegally? They certainly
And,
can put the
and
IRS
that's,
on his shit,
oh,
and
yeah. I mean, it could be those, the one thing, and you go back to history because history likes to repeat itself. Always remember when the Nazis came to power, just when they first came to power, they had what they called the Night of the Long Knives,
right,
where Hitler consolidated his power and removed several of his very closest lieutenants, except the hardcore
yeah,
people. They had a horrible night because those people thought, okay, we got the little asshole in charge. Now we can run it.
right,
No, no, no. You don't get it. He makes sure that they disappeared. Um, and that's what you're going to see a lot of them eating themselves. It's we're going to kind of laugh at that because Boris is the worst human being. I've seen him
yeah,
talk about shit. He got what he deserved. But when you start taking money from the till, they're
yeah,
going to break your fingers, and now they're going to break more than that off on them. But see, that's the thing. I don't know what our country's turning into, a reality show, of a version of The Sopranos, an
yeah,
incompetent version of Sopranos, um, or a Trump casino hotel on his last legs.
right,
We don't know what that's going to look like in who's going to make, and it's confusing for all of us because I see everyone running around trying to either be we're all fucked or in the end we're going to win, but we don't know. It might
Right.
be in the middle.
Well, that's it. It could be a year, it could be 4 years, it could be whatever. But that's what I was getting at with the Republicans and the guardrails they might
Mhm.
put up. This is where the problem's going to come in. They get Donald Trump in. He's not worth anything to them anymore because he can't get them anything anymore. So they do like you say. Okay, this little fuck's in there, but we're going to run the show. The moment Donald Trump realizes that's what they're doing to him, he's going to want to cut their heads off. But does he have the wherewithal? Who is he going to get to do that? The government is much bigger than Donald Trump.
Right.
And this is where Donald Trump fucked up the first time. He thought he could control the government system, but he didn't understand how the system worked. He couldn't control it. That's why he ended up on trial. That's why he ended up losing the election. This is going to be an interesting battle that Donald Trump cannot win, but he will insist on fighting.
And the biggest and one thing we have to kind of put into the whole mix, the man is 79, 78,
So
79.
yeah,
With the health, with the unbelievable, either really good genes that he's still walking and with the health he does. Um, what happens in a year from now? He kicks off this mortal coil.
yeah.
Oh my God. What'll happen? I mean, the insanity. Could you imagine that? That literally it'd be like watching seagulls fight over a piece of bread. Mine, 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 mine.
Yeah.
It would be insane. Because think about it. JD Vance can't hold that shit together. They have nothing like Trump.
No.
Trump is. That's why people think, well, they'll pull the 25th Amendment. No, they won't. If they did that, Trump effects will go insane. They'll riot.
Yeah.
They will come to the Capitol for that. Trust me, they will not let that happen. But if he dies, and trust me, that is on the. If you think that's people are talking, well, he's talking about a third term. Fuck, I don't think he's gonna make it through his first term,
I don't think he'll
health
make it to
wise.
26. I mean, let's be perfectly honest with you, and I know it's crazy to bring this up. John F. Kennedy got killed, presumably by government agencies, whatever you believe, uh, because of the shit he was trying to pull, breaking up the CIA and getting out of the Vietnam thing. Whether that's true or not, it's up for debate. But I think the idea that Oswald did it alone just for the fuck of it, that doesn't make any sense. Here's the problem: if he's doing things to hurt big corporate America, if he's doing things to hurt big pharma, if he's doing things to hurt the Republican Party, which he will because he doesn't care about anything else,
Mm-hmm.
there are going to be people that are very angry that are going to lose a lot of money and a lot of power because of this dumb fuck. I'm just saying, I'm not predicting anything. That motherfucker better have a lot of protection around him because he doesn't have to worry about the Democrats. They're cool. But all these powerful, hungry, evil motherfuckers around him, once he steps on their toes, and he will, he's going to have a target on his back.
Yeah, that's the thing. All these things that he's doing will not benefit big business.
No,
That's the irony of the election
but he
is
thinks
that
he's bigger than big
right.
business.
Well, he thinks he is business. That everything revolves around him.
Right.
I mean the stock market bounced back yesterday today,
Yeah.
and they said, "Oh, that's because of Trump." No, it was a sell-off, and the people bought low.
Right.
But hey, believe what you want. It's just I don't know what's going to happen to us because we've been put into a situation where one man could literally rip apart this country in ways we didn't think could happen. That's a scary, scary thought.
Well, if
Um,
he takes office on the 20th of January and he starts trying to institute tariffs against Canada, China, and Mexico, what do you think the stock market's going to do then?
it's going
It's going to fucking tank.
And I wonder, I mean, how many court challenges will be? There's
Yeah.
got to be court challenge. When ICE shows up and starts trying to do stuff, you tell me there's not going to be legal challenges to that? That judges are going to tell them to stop?
Yeah.
That cities are going to push them out? It's going to be a fight. I think part of the thing that a lot of us on the middle Democratic side thought, oh, he got carte blanche. But the more I see these people, more this thing going on, I don't know. And it's going to be a fight. And then when it gets ugly, how far will he go to get his way? That's a scary thought because
How
if he
far can
describes a
he go
national,
though?
yeah,
But,
well, if
you
he
know,
declares a national emergency, will people obey that? When if he calls, like if California refuses to let federal troops go into Los Angeles, does he say the state of California is in a state of insurrection? I mean, how far will they go?
how
And
far
if
will
he
they let
goes
him
that,
go? Will
yeah,
somebody try to stop him in the Republican Party?
and if he does go that far, what's the pushback and where and how?
Yeah.
I mean, people will go, well, you're doomsaying. No, you have to look at this in a realistic state. We are in a chaotic situation with a man who lives off chaos
Right.
and surrounded by people who take advantage of chaos. Chaos is a ladder. They will look at that for power, look at that to make money. So we don't know. And again, a lot of people listen to you, they listen to me in my small little corner and say, well, you're not giving us solutions. We gave you a solution on November
Yeah.
5th. You
Yeah.
rejected that fucking solution. So now we have a problem, a very complex problem. Unlike your small minds, you cannot solve a complex problem with simple answers.
Well, and that's what I've said to people. I'm lucky because 99% of the people don't give me shit about it. But there every so often people come along, you were wrong about this, you were wrong about that. And I go, look, all I can do, I'm just a guy in my living room. I'm not special. I'm not
Mhm.
psychic. I take a look at the facts, I analyze the facts, and I decide what's the most likely way it's going to turn out. It didn't turn out that way. But if you want to blame somebody for Donald Trump getting elected, sorry, I'm not that guy. I spent 4 years
Nope.
every fucking day talking, telling you not to do it. You know who you need to blame? You need to blame the media and the people who saw Donald Trump be adjudicated for rape and gave him a pass.
Right.
Saw Donald Trump commit an attempted coup on this country and you gave him a pass. When he stole classified documents and you gave him a pass, you're the motherfuckers that are responsible for this, not me or not anybody listening to
And
this show.
and you thought that if you did that, you get something back.
Yeah.
And you're going to get nothing. And the one thing I will ask you, because we came up with that, I hope you put that in one of your videos because they reach a lot of people. Because people asking what happened, it's simple.
I did do
You
that in one of my
people,
videos.
yeah, you people were selfish. You did not look at the big picture. You didn't look at America as a whole. You thought he will give you something, be it hate, be it money, be it um, prestige, being keeping the white America as it is. You didn't look at the country as a whole, and your selfish ass gave us this. Now, a lot of you are FAFO going, you what do you mean, Robert Kennedy? Yeah, he wasn't kidding, you dumbasses.
Well, you have to
And
understand too that Donald Trump in 2016, when he was elected president, he was looking ahead to getting reelected in 2020 and getting all this stuff done. Right now, he doesn't need you, meaning the voters. He doesn't
yeah,
need to give you anything. He doesn't need to make you happy. In fact, he's fine stepping on your toes because he's gotten all he needs to get out of them. Now it's all about Donald Trump and grifting for himself. He knows he's on limited time. He knows he's a lame duck. He doesn't care how the country goes. It's just all about how much money and power he can put together.
did you did
And
you
that's the
see that
problem.
he's selling Trump guitars?
Yeah.
But the guitar maker goes stepped on it because they're violating their trademark. I mean, you're president elect of the United States. What the fuck are you selling guitars?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's the
Fender guitars sent him a
offender.
cease. Sent him a cease and desist letter because they basically copied the form of the Fender guitar. I mean, how stupid can you fucking be? I know not to do that.
He fucked with Fender.
Yeah.
Oh my god! But you see that's the point. This is what you guys in your own little selfish world, living there thinking you'll get something out of it. You're not. You're not going to get a damn thing. You're going to lose a lot.
Yeah.
You're going to lose a lot of stuff, and you're not going to get anything you wanted. And that's the thing. And we're sitting and you're wondering why we're just looking at you going, we don't even want to debate you. We don't want to talk to you.
I
Why?
don't have anything to say to him.
Well,
I'm not going to
because
argue with
this is
him.
what you guys wanted. Are you happy? Well, I mean, if you're happy, great. Then why are you complaining?
Well, as a sales guy, you can understand
Mm.
this, and I've done some sales and I've done some negotiations. Essentially, what the Trumplafucks did, they gave Donald Trump everything he wanted, and they have no more leverage. They have
Yep.
no more control over the situation. They gave Donald Trump everything. They have no leverage. They can't say, "Well, if you don't do that, I won't vote for you," or "Please make me happy because I'll do something for you." He doesn't need anything from you
No.
anymore. He's got it all. He wrung you out. He dried you out, and now you've given away the farm and you have no leverage. You're
Well,
fucked.
yeah. If you want a good sports analogy for those of you who follow sports and football, let's talk about the New York Giants. So
Yeah,
the Giants went on Hard Knocks behind the scenes, and you know, and I know they gave Daniel Jones $40 million
yeah,
a year contract, and he got injured.
yeah,
So Saquon Barkley, who has basically been running his ass off behind a bad O line, by a bad organization, was coming up for his contract, and they didn't want to pay him. The GM said on Hard Knocks, "Why do we want to pay $12 million to $12 million to a quarterback, to a running back, to be handed the ball from a $40 million quarterback?"
right.
And then he ends up in Philadelphia to your rival, and he's just, everyone's going, "Oh, we didn't know this." No, you didn't know this because he got behind into a good organization. Look what's going on. Come back to here. You guys had an opportunity to vote for a woman who would have done that for you, but you wanted the liar who said he's going to give you something. You know, the 40 billion dollar liar who doesn't have a dime to his name. You don't want to give it to her. Now she's going to go off and be successful in her life.
Yeah,
We know that.
yeah.
But what do you got? Nothing. Now,
Well,
the
and
funniest thing, I still to this day thinking about it, why that general manager still has a fucking job right now, I don't know.
Well,
It's kind of the same.
not only did
uh,
they get rid of Saquon Barkley, the $40 million quarterback didn't pan out. He couldn't do the job, and they're releasing him. So they
and the
got
thing about it,
nothing.
but here's the thing: is a lot of the people, a lot of the players in the team are pissed about that because they
Yeah,
don't blame Daniel Jones. They blame the coaching staff, the O line, and the front office. And Daniel Jones is going to end up as a backup somewhere making money. Because, oh, by the way, Giants, you're still paying his salary. He might
yeah,
end up, in Las Vegas. The point being is that's what you get. The simplest thing is we're being run incompetent. We're going about to become run incompetently. We were run competently, but you're firing everybody to put in the most incompetent man known ever, who's never ever improved anything in his life. Ever. He's
ever.
never built anything. He's never been good at anything. He's been good at one thing: grifting, conning you.
Yeah,
And you guys bought it. And then you look at us and go, "Oh, why you don't want to, you don't want any of this?" No, because that's ugly. Look, that's like bringing potato salad with carrots to the barbecue. Okay,
I
no,
think I heard somebody say I was listening to it's like potato salad with raisins in it. Who
yes,
puts raisins in potato salad?
I mean, it's like, but the point being is, you brought that to the barbecue, and by the way, you're in charge of the barbecue. By the way, chicken should not be pale when you
Or
cook
pink?
it. Okay, a little season. That's the thing. I know what I'm going to do to my turkey on Thursday. I got
Yeah,
seasonings up the ass I'm going to put on that thing, and it's going to look good. You guys, turkey is going to look like kind of pale, and yeah, you might want not to eat the pink part.
yeah.
Okay, the point being is that you cannot present that to us and go and say, "Hey, what do you think?" No, no, because we know better. In fact, we wanted to do better.
Yeah.
We wanted to do better. But hey,
You can't
enjoy your pink meat.
you can't serve us a shit sandwich and have us turn you down and understand it wasn't because we don't like bread. We don't like the shit you have to offer.
Oh God, you ruined good 2 pieces of bread too. That being said,
Yeah.
so I mean, this is how this conversation went from politics
To
to
shit
pink turkey
sandwiches.
to pink turkeys. Look, you guys, the holidays are coming up. Enjoy
Yeah.
what you can.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
good. It's going to be. It's not going to be easy. Enjoy your holidays. Enjoy your family, and then understand. Come January 20th, just be braced and just concentrate on what you can fit, what you can control right now, and then little by little, I think we're going to see an opportunity to affect things later.
Yeah.
Because right now we have no effect on it because we're waiting to see what's going to happen. But I'll tell you one thing: it's not looking good for him in the sense that he's not going to get everything he wants.
No, people always ask me, we'll wrap this up here in a second, but
Yeah.
people are asking me what we should do now. And there's two things I think we should do. One of them, you may not think it's worthwhile, but I'll explain it. First of all, the Democrats have to do what the Republicans have done for the last 2 years: obstruct everything,
Oh
stop
hell yes.
everything, filibuster everything. And that's what they're probably going to do. But we as a people, what do we do? Now, I know if you're a Democrat, well, we'll go after policies, we'll go after court cases. No, we've been doing that. That doesn't work. I'll tell you what we need to do, and a lot of people won't like this, but I'm looking forward to it because I happen to be pretty good at it. We need to do the one thing that caused the Republicans to win in 2024. That is control the narrative, blame everything on Donald Trump, scream from the mountaintops, talk shit about everything they did, blame everything on them, and keep that narrative going every day until the next election. And people say, "Well, that's unsophisticated. Why don't it worked? It fucking
Yep.
worked. So I'm going to do it."
Yeah, and they're going to trust me. They're going to try to blame Biden
Not if they
and
can't
the
hear them,
Democrats,
because we're going to be
but you can't. But
louder.
like we're going no, because you got see that's what's happening now.
Yeah,
When we talk about MAGA upset that people don't want to get in with the program because we know what's coming and we're not no. And that's what pisses them off. It pisses them off to the core because they wanted us to go to basically capitulate, and we're going, yeah, whatever. We don't care. We're going to wait. That's the
yeah,
thing. We're waiting for things to go bad, and they know it's going to get bad, and we're all going to go, told you so.
yeah,
And trust me, that's the worst thing you can tell these assholes
yeah.
because they know we're right
Right.
and we
Exactly.
win. And in the
Exactly.
end, and that's the thing. All we had, the whole FAFO thing that's going on social media, that drives them nuts. Why? Because it's the truth.
Yeah, it's the truth. They can't handle the truth,
They
and
can't handle the truth, and
and
that's all we have to do is just say, just go. Oh, how much is tomatoes? Oh, you
yeah.
can't get any kind of food stuff because of tariffs. Well, that's tough.
Your
That really
Ford
sucks, doesn't it?
your Ford pickup trucks have gone up 30%. What the fuck? Here's the
Yeah.
thing. After it was said and done, you're sad, you're depressed, you do all this stuff. I'm not that way anymore. I'm content.
No.
I'm happy. And here's why: because I know what's ahead of me and I know I can win. So that's all I'm worried about right now. We
Uh,
have what we have. We
mhm.
may not like it, but I know what it is, and we can win.
Yeah, the only thing that keeps me up at night is the possible violence against people of color. That's the only thing that bothers me
That
as
bothers me
the
too.
that's the only thing that because we don't know how far they're going to take that, and you're hoping that that they're going to taper when they start to see that people aren't down with that.
Well,
That
the only other thing about it too is you're worried about what they're going to inflict on people. I think there's going to be a pushback, and there may be some pain inflicted on those motherfuckers,
it's going to be that's the thing, and that's
and
again.
that I'll laugh about.
Oh yeah, and we'll see. That's the thing. We will see. So if you're cooking this Thanksgiving, remember you can use salt and pepper. It's okay. Um, you can use other spices and seasonings. It's okay. Um, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Um, the Christmas time, enjoy it. Here's the thing: enjoy it now because a lot of stuff you're getting now, you may not get in a year. So think about that. That's the funny thing. Hey, Amazon. Hey, Bezos. What are you going to do when people can't get shit?
Yeah.
Good luck with that. You kiss the ring too, but is it going to help
Bottom
you?
the bottom line's going to suck for a lot of people. We'll survive one way or another, but will
Yeah,
these big corporations when they get fucked in the ass? I doubt it. They're
yeah.
going to
That's
have
going to
some
be.
problems.
I'm
Well,
gonna I'm gonna enjoy that point.
well,
All right,
Will.
guys.
Well,
Thank
thanks
you.
for coming in and talking. It's always a pleasure, and come
Mm,
back anytime. You know that.
I
Uh,
appreciate it.
for those listening, thank you for taking the time to do that. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.